Hi boys and girls, welcome back to Mr. Brakefield Reads. It is Wednesday, which means it's our chapter book day, and we're going to get straight back into The Monster of Shiversands Cove by Emma Fischel. Now, we're up to chapter 2, and chapter 2 is entitled Princess Splishy Splashy. Next morning the sun woke me, glinting in through a chink in the curtains. I sat up and looked out of the porthole. It was a bright sunny day and the sea was all sparkly. Then, just behind the island, out at sea, whoosh! All of a sudden, a huge jet of water, like a giant fountain, shot right up in the air. I leaned forward and clutched the edge of the porthole. Now that was interesting. I knew what it was straight away, a water spout. And where there was a water spout that size, there was a whale. There had to be. I stared hard. Brilliant. A whale right out there behind the island. Now, I am the #1 fan of whales because whales are extremely interesting creatures. Not even fish, for a start, even though they swim in the sea. No, whales are mammals, long-living mammals. Some whales, especially the ones that swim about in the Arctic Ocean, can live to over 150 years old. And whales are musical mammals too. They like inventing tunes. Whales swim about singing their tunes, and when they get bored with singing one tune, which whales do in the end, they just invent a new one. Then there are the water spouts. All whales make water spouts. A whale shoots water out of a blowhole, sometimes even 2, on the top of its head, and that helps it breathe in the water. Dolphins and porpoises do water spouts too. But that water spout was much too big to be a dolphin or porpoise. It was a whale, for sure. It had to be. And a whale expert could tell what sort of whale that was, just from the shape of the water spout, but I couldn't. I had no idea what sort of whale it was. All the same, the whale was a good start to the day. Then, the day got better, because Dad and Magnus woke up, and once Magnus had his water wings on, we all ran down the garden and across the beach and swam before breakfast. We splashed about and chucked a beach ball around. Then I did a bit of snorkelling around the rocks at the side while Dad helped Magnus with his swimming strokes. After that, Dad cooked a big breakfast, piles of pancakes and toast and bacon. We ate outside at a table on the patio, with the cove glinting and sparkling in front of us. Then we made a find, a shed full of interesting stuff at the bottom of the garden. There was a big folded bit of fishing net, the strong kind that fishing boats drag behind them, and there were coils of rope and tin with weird names on them like bloodworms, which Dad said were fishing bait. There were also some old magazines and old flower pots, beach balls, a frisbee, and a cricket set. I was starting to feel that maybe this holiday wasn't doomed, that maybe it would be good, when we heard the sound of a car coming down the lane. A car loaded up with holiday stuff and heading straight for the pale blue cottage. The car stopped and the doors opened. A mum got out, and a dad, and... oh no, a girl. She was Magnus-sized and was wearing a sticky-out princess dress and a tiara and small stout shoes. She came thudding straight out of the car and down to the beach, bellowing, "Princess Splishy Splashy, where are you? It's me, Claudia, I'm back." She stood there bellowing for at least 2 minutes, and for someone so short she had a very big bellow. Then she folded her arms, turned, spotted me and Magnus in our garden, and came stomping over, frowning. "Have you seen Princess Splishy Splashy?" she said. Princess Splishy Splashy turned out to be a mermaid. Yes, a mermaid. A mermaid which the bellower, Claudia, said she had met last year. Because last year Claudia stayed in our cottage, and every day, so Claudia said, Princess Splishy Splashy sat on the rocks out on the island, singing and combing her long golden hair. Sometimes she would even dive into the water and swim about with Claudia. "I was expecting her to be here by now," Claudia said. "I had plans for us." Then her eyebrows knotted together. I wonder where she's gone." I gaped at her. What a strange child. Why invent a mermaid and then pretend she had gone missing? I had 3 imaginary friends when I was a little kid, all goblins. I never pretended my goblins went missing. I pretended they had chicken pox. I pretended they spat out their greens and hated brushing their teeth. But I never pretended my goblins went missing. What was the point? Magnus did not seem to find Claudia strange, not at all. He stared at her, thrilled, and she stared at him. "You," Claudia said, "are being my holiday friend." Then she grabbed Magnus by the hand and dragged him off while Dad got busy chatting to Claudia's mum and dad, making himself some grown-up friends for the holiday. Which was why it was only me who saw it. It was a glimpse, just a quick glimpse, out of the corner of my eye. A glimpse of something leaping out of the water, just behind the island. Something huge and greeny-grey, twirling around so fast it was a blur. Then it dived and was gone. Okay, so we're up to chapter 3 now. We're going to leave it there. But join me again on Sunday when we'll find out more, perhaps about what the creature in the water is. Anyway, for now, stay safe and happy reading. Goodbye, boys and girls.